So in my last few videos, I've come across as a Unreal Engine simp, or as somebody called me, or that I'm defending Unreal Engine too much. So I decided to make a video looking at things from the outside, not as a developer, not as somebody who knows about the engine, but somebody that just plays games. All in all, I think it's Epic's fault. Most of what's going on is it's Epic's fault, and I'll explain why. Reason number one is I think there is more engine awareness than it used to be because of the PR that Epic has been putting out. Whenever Unreal Engine showcases something, this is no longer a thing for developers, but also like video games, magazines, and a lot of people who usually don't cover developer games are now covering engine stuff. And that's not their fault. I think that's Epic's fault because they usually do this very flashy showcase to try to appeal to almost everybody instead of just talking to the developers, which are pretty much the people that utilize their tools. I don't think gamers have anything to do with the engine or not. They should just be worried about whether the game functions or not. And the reason why I think that is because of what happened with the Witcher 4 tech demo, which a lot of people and a lot of outlets and big YouTubers forgot that it was just a tech demo. So it was presented as if this is how the Witcher 4 is going to look, which CDPR has come out several times saying like, no, this was just a tech demo. This isn't necessarily how the Witcher 4 is going to look. But then again, Epic knew what they were doing when they decided to partner with CDPR and do this showcase. Yes, CDPR has a lot to gain when it comes to using Unreal Engine, whether you believe it or not. Yes, they do, and it shows. But the fact that they decided to use The Witcher 4 to showcase the new tools Unreal Engine 5.6 was bringing to the table was very purposeful. They knew that that would get a lot of people talking other than developers, and that would get a lot of people excited about the new tools, even if you didn't know about what was going on, because like I said, so many outlets, many YouTubers talking about this tech demo and just pushing it as, hey, look, this is how The Witcher 3 and how things are going to look in Unreal Engine 5, which it was a huge marketing move for Epic, but I think that is backfiring now because of so many games that are not performing well. The other issue, and this regards to the marketing and PR that Epic has been putting out, is the fact that studio heads are looking at it, and when they look at Unreal Engine, they say, well, Unreal Engine is offering this way of developing games much faster, and we're going to apply it. Because that's what studio heads, that's their job. Their job is to make a product and with the least cost possible to get the most amount of revenue. That's just their job. And when they see that somebody's advertising a tool that promises that you'll be able to make a game in a lot less time than you usually do while still looking amazing, quote unquote, then yes, those studio heads are going to say, now you are going to use this tool. And this is one of the issues that again was created by Epic and all the PR that they've been having around, because the truth is, yes, while it is easier to get high-end AAA graphics than before, and I'd say it's easier to get that kind of graphics inside Unreal as opposed to Unity or Godot, there's still a lot of work that you need to be doing for your game to perform well. So it's not just one and done, which in my opinion is what developers are doing. And again, this is cause of what Epic told them, because when studio heads decide, hey, you're going to use this and this is going to take less time, then that means there's also less money for developer development, because that's what they decided from the get-go. The other thing where I do think it's Epic's fault with all of these issues is because they decided to go the route of real-time ray tracing and embracing that technology, but also completely forgetting about the other tech. See, for someone like me who does a lot of 3D animation and product rendering and all that, real-time ray tracing has been a blessing. Like I no longer have to rely fully on a render farm. I can like do previous shots for my clients, for my boss, pretty fast, and everybody's so happy that we can produce high-end looking graphics for 3D animation in a shorter period of time that we used to. But the problem comes with games. I personally think, if you follow me on X or Twitter, however you want to call it, I always say that ray tracing has no place in video games because the amount of resources that it takes for a game to run with ray tracing is much higher than anything else, and the result that it gives you in return, it's not worth the crunch of performance that you get by using ray tracing. One of the things that I think is great is I just saw an article saying that Battlefield 6 is not going to include ray tracing. And I think this is the way that games should go. Ray tracing, yeah, it's a cool technology, but it should not be used on everything. I'd say if you have a cinematic game like, let's say, Uncharted or Senua's Sacrifice or something like that, where you just need your things to look good because that's part of the experience, yeah, use ray tracing. But the problem is we're using the ray tracing technology for absolutely every game, and sometimes it doesn't add that much beautification. I've heard the argument, well, ray trace reflections are much better than screen space reflections, and it's true, they are much better. But like I said, the amount of hardware that you need to run ray tracing, real-time ray tracing correctly, is too much, which has led us to having games that need, not that run on, that need DLSS in order to run correctly, which I think it's awful. Yes, and DLSS can be good, but having, you know, AI control your frames, sometimes to me it produces blurry results. If you are on a shooter game, it can be detrimental, especially if you're in a multiplayer game. It could be frustrating. I think that is hopefully something that the industry gets away from. And now going back to the Unreal Engine subject, Epic put their eggs in the ray tracing basket and didn't look back and say, well, maybe we should also be touching these other technologies like the backlight and improve it, because yes, it's true, other engines do have better tools when it comes to baking lights as opposed to Unreal Engine. So yeah, that was also a little bit of marketing, because Epic decided that Unreal Engine should be used for a lot of rendering, for what's called virtual production, using the LED wall and all that. That does need real-time ray tracing. In those settings, performance doesn't matter as much. Yes, it does matter, but not as much as it mattered in a video game. So I think they focus way too much on that aspect. And then what happened was a lot of games, you know, are suffering because of that, because all the techniques and everything that Epic has right now for your game to look AAA involves some sort of ray tracing. And I think overall, yeah, ray tracing is what's killing performance in games, and we're gonna see it hopefully in Battlefield 6 when it comes out, what solution they bring to the table when it comes to the lighting side. Because they're running the Frostbite engine. I'm really curious to see, hopefully Digital Foundry will be able to have a deep look at how they're running the engine, making Battlefield look so good without ray tracing, because again, that's one of the things that's killing performance. All right, everybody, that is it for this video. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a different perspective and my thoughts on the whole thing that's been going on with Unreal Engine, but looking at it from the other side. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think ray tracing is good for games? Do you think it's Epic's fault? I know a lot of people say yes, but yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this subject. Remember to subscribe, leave a like, because engagement is really important for the channel right now. Thank you so much for watching all the way to this point, and I'll see you in the next one.